It's gonna be...
My blade is yours.
Okay. Now we're gonna start, first of all, reacting to the new season update. You kidding? No, I'm not kidding. This weekend I have a new account, fresh account. I'm gonna play from unranked to master. And I will have no delay, and I will answer all questions. So you can literally just watch it and ask me questions while I show you everything. I will stream Friday morning until like evening, then I have birthday, and Saturday and Sunday I'm probably gonna stream all day long. Okay, anyways. I mean, it's a free, it's a, how's it called? A Black Friday special is gonna come in the weekend. Because that looks massive. This dash looks cool as fuck. The new League of Legends map. Very interesting.
Terrain adjustments to new monsters and items. Ready to see what's coming? Let's get into it.
I'm ready to see what's coming.
Wait, where are we? Oh, it's top lane. These walls are different.
Okay, I'm Adova. Sounds very good.
Well, that'll make for a trickier gank path.
No, but aspect doesn't matter.
Top laners can focus more on your lane opponent instead.
Bosta, it's gonna be in. Trust me. Trust me. My prediction for the next season is it's gonna make way more fun. It's gonna make way more fun. We have so many enjoyable moments. I think all we have to do as an individual is just accept that there will be change, adapt to the new change, and we will have so much fun. I made that mistake in season 11 when they first introduced the Duskblade. I was really annoyed of all these changing coming up, and it took me a few months until I realized, wait, it's actually fun. I'm just stubborn. It's actually fun. Right? It just took me a while. But now I will look at this in a fresh perspective and be like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fun in the first place already.
Head of hungry junglers. We've got terrain changes across the entire map, actually. Like in mid lane, the brush is farther back from the lane now, and we've adjusted the walls to both red and blue side for better symmetry.
Okay, I think this is, first of all, extremely good. Makes the game way more skilled. Because look at, wait, I'm gonna open, wait. So, I think this is gonna make the entire game way more skilled. Because as you can see, Lux put a ward here. And what will happen is that she will have this amount of vision. But as you can still see, there are some areas, for example, from this bush to here, many champions can jump over this, for example, Kha'Zix and stuff, who can avoid the wards here. So there will be a lot of new jungle content. Of course, I will make a nice course for that. I will explain everything on my streams everywhere. That's just my job, to help you guys finding the best possible ways. But as you can see, there will be many very nice ways to cheese. If she puts a ward here, for example, then maybe there's a way to avoid the ward here by pathing this way. So you need to now, as a jungler, track down the enemy mid laner. If he wards from here, if he wards there, if she walks that deep. And with that information, you will know where the ward is most likely gonna get placed and have better ganking options. It's gonna be very nice. The next thing is, why I like this change so much, is because it completely changes the entire mid lane skill expression. I will give you an example. Right now, mid lane is like this, okay? Just assume this is the mid lane, right? And then the assassins and the mages fight each other. But the assassins don't really have that much room. But now look at this situation. Assassins now have an insane larger room to sidestep abilities. For example, a Vel'Koz Q. Not only that, Vel'Koz also has more angles. For example, like this, right? There's just more skill expression. So if you play champions like Zed, Kiana, Yasuo, probably Yone, you will probably cast it, and you will probably have a better way to snowball off enemies if you are a better player. Because what I think is, if you are, I said that last time already, if you are a gold player playing against a challenger, I think the challenger will, with this season, stomp the gold player harder than he does right now. And I think this is a great change, because if I'm here, Master Yi, Jarvan, whatever, and the enemy Syndra is here, I have so much room to outplay the Syndra. On the other hand, if the map is like a little bit smaller, then the Syndra has it way easier to consistently stun me. I think that's great.
And we've adjusted the walls to both red and blue side for better symmetry. Overall, these adjustments should
Riding the
make it a
Herald can
little safer to
destroy
play
all
variety
mid towers
champions
if
in
enemy. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But for sure, the new Herald. We're gonna get to that in a second.
Speaking of safety, we've also changed the walls opposite Baron and Dragon Pit for a bit more security while you're moving between lanes.
I think that is extremely cool. That the
Finally, in bot
wall
lane-
changes, I think, are all very, very cool so far. What I've
There's a new
seen.
gank path.
For example, this ganking there's so it's gonna make general a lot of change, and I think in the beginning of the next split, because there will not be a preseason, a few things, probably like Rek'Sai, will be absolutely broken because he can use these walls perfectly.
On red side to make the map more symmetrical. We've also
But of course, I'm gonna play these champions as well and show you exactly what you should and
shifted the
can be
brush to the
doing.
middle of the river so both teams can more reasonably fight for vision control. Look alive down there.
You know when the split ends? Yes. At I think 9th of January, and then instantly the
jungle
new
paths
split
aren't the only
starts.
thing to keep your eye on this season. A new void monster has found its way to the rift. During the early game, a camp of 3 void grubs will now spawn inside the barrier.
Wow.
When you attack
That looks so
a
cool.
grub,
That is so
smaller
cool.
void mites appear to join the fight.
Wow. What?
Killing
What is
one
this?
of the void grubs grants a permanent buff to your entire team that deals damage over time when attacking turrets. For every grub you slay, the
Wow.
buff becomes more powerful.
And it looks
After
so
the first
cool as
3
well.
grubs are killed,
I
3
love these
more will
colors.
spawn a few minutes later. If your team manages to kill all 6, then you unlock the maximum buff. When you attack a turret, you'll apply the damage over time and
Hey, interesting.
spawns
This is gonna change also the new Herald where you can ride the Herald. That's gonna change so much macro decisions. And I cannot wait for me deciding whatever will be the most optimal. I can't wait to optimize the macro in that new
some
season.
void mites of your own to help take it down. Keep in mind that these grubs
Is more space better for immobile champions since they have more room to sidestep and avoid getting hundreds of wall? Yes, I think so. Is it ever gonna be worth taking just 1 or 2 grubs rather than... I can't say anything yet. I am just gonna take a look at it from my personal perspective right now. I'm gonna play it very soonish as well. And I will just wait now until it comes to live service, because now thinking about the macro, which is about to happen, is extremely useless and time waste. I think what we should do is just look what the change is gonna be, enjoy the change, think of interesting ways, but don't focus too much about macro right now. Once the split is here and everything is live, then it will just take a few weeks and we all know already macro-wise what is optimal or should be probably a little bit better or nerfed. I think that's way smarter to view this on.
are an incremental camp, not all or nothing. So slaying even 1 can give your team a small boost and keep the enemy from collecting all 6. At 14 minutes, any remaining grubs disappear and the beloved Rift Herald enters the game.
I wonder how many spawn even, like, do they just randomly spawn over time, a few of them? It's very, very interesting. Because if that is so, then, oh, by the way, a cool picture. If that is so, then your jungle pathing will be extremely, I would just say, weird. And if you always path to these thingies, I will just call them, it's gonna be it's just gonna be a little bit more predictable of where the enemy jungler is gonna be if they always fight for that, if try to. And also maybe it's not that good because then snowballing will just lead you to being able to fight all of them. Okay.
With a fresh new look. Maybe they're born with it.
Mamon,
Maybe
welcome.
it's the hideously vile influence of the void from whence they came.
I think it's gonna be
If you
very
slay the
cool,
Herald,
Mako,
you can
yes.
summon them
I think it's
before
gonna
to march down lane and whack turrets. Or any member of your team can hop on board to play Summoner's Drift,
Do the enemies see when you are riding this like Sejuani?
steering the monster as they charge forward like a battle
Rides
sled.
his pick.
Ramming Herald
pick.
into a turret this way deals some extra damage, and you
Bossy.
can run into enemy champions to damage and knock them up. On collision with terrain
That's
or
insane.
a turret, the driver pops out nearby, and the ability to steer goes on cooldown. This
Damn.
cooldown resets if you hit a turret, but takes longer if you hit a wall.
Ah, okay,
All
interesting.
aboard the Shelly demolition train. Now let's talk about... What was that?
Wow. With all
Baron
these arms as
Nashor,
well.
Voidborn Tyrant of the Rift, is back and badder than ever before. When he enters the
Yes. Better than ever before. Baron was, at one point, not even relevant anymore. Of course, the buff was, but the camp itself, it was so useless, it didn't deal any damage. You were not scared of it. From time you can even two people, if they get 20 seconds, they already finish Baron. Baron deals 0 damage. Baron was so useless. I hope that this Baron is gonna get very strong, that you can only really defeat it if you are grouped with your team. Will make it also very interesting. Will make it very interesting, and there will be so many interesting fights over it. I'm just curious on what exactly we'll be doing.
You'll know it. Baron takes one of 3 forms when he emerges. Each form provides the same classic buff, but alters how he fights and determines the shape of each form.
What?
Enters the game, you'll know it.
There are 3 different types of walls.
Baron takes one of 3 forms when he emerges.
He takes 3 different forms, so it's random which form it is. And it's also gonna change the entire map. That is so fucking cool. Why is that so cool? Because there are so many. I will just show you here. If you stand on this edge, for example, you will have vision like this. Okay, that will be your vision. So technically, the enemies who are here will have no vision on you, and you will have no vision on them. So there will be so many cheesy spots. For example, if you're here, the enemies are there. If you're here, the enemies, because of this little extra thingy here, like you see this extra thingy here, this one, because of that, maybe if you stand here, enemies from there don't even see you. So there are so many cheesy spots to be in, and I always love that about League of Legends. For example, when the Bowser FS hits his Zion Q, the massive Zion Q, and you don't even see him. I think that's wonderful.
Classic buff, but alters how he fights and determines the shape of his pit.
This is also very fucking cool. Imagine Nami ult in this direction. LOL! Good luck escaping.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, here's also a wall. I didn't see that one first. But this shape is also extremely cool. Like, as I said, like, look at the stones here. The stones are in a very interesting shape. So I don't know yet where and how exactly you can cheese. It really depends on the vision Riot Games gives you. And it's also cool with these bushes, because depending on the size of the walls, sometimes Rengar can jump over here. There are very tricky and cheesy ways. Zion can queue over this wall. Like, I think it's great so far. New Teemo Shroom angles.
With Baron's entrance, the Void's influence spreads across the map, infusing the Scuttle Crab, Brambleback, and Sentinel.
Are you playing PBE? Yes, I have a PBE one here, and I'm gonna play on PBE right after this. If you are having a PBE account, you can even join. I don't really mind.
Dark power. Voidborn Scuttle Crab becomes tankier and tougher to kill. On death, she sends out a massive burst like a Scryer's Bloom, revealing all enemy champions and wards in a large area. Bet you didn't see that coming. Likewise, the Voidborn red and blue buff require a little more muscle to take down, but in exchange, they grant the buff to every teammate who's alive at the time. So no more fighting over
every teammate who's alive at the time. So that means, if I understood that correctly, if you steal the enemy red buff, you actually have 10 red buffs plus, because not only do you deny enemy 5 people the red buff, but also do all of your team get red buff. So it's actually 10 red buffs in total. This is very interesting as well, because that makes the entire team fights being oriented over these buffs maybe as well. Because it can lead to Baron now being more just stronger, so it's just not a random fight over it. If 1 or 2 people die, they cannot even take Baron maybe anymore. Fighting over red buffs, blue buffs is generally gonna be very interesting. I'm curious how that's gonna be. Like, I just have to say this. Like, I am a fan of change. I want to see what's different. And what I noticed throughout my entire career in League of Legends, if you adapt to the change and if you enjoy change, you will enjoy League of Legends. The moment where you're like, I want the old thingy back. No. League of Legends is one of its greatest states is that it has ever been in the entire League of Legends time. People who say Season 5 was better, Season 6 was better, that's just, most of the time, just pure nostalgia. It's not really there. It doesn't exist. It's just in their brain thinking, oh, back then playing with my friends and stuff was cool. But the game itself wasn't better. I think the game right now is way better. I had most fun. My entire career was in Season 11. I think that was the most fun. I also was enjoying Twisted Tree Line extremely hard, and I think there were times where League of Legends had very good spots and times. I think it was wonderful. But generally speaking, because League of Legends evolves, I think it's a wonderful stay. It's in a wonderful position and is so much fun. And that's also the reason why they are consistently having great numbers as well playing this game.
Cool new buffs. Let's talk Infernal.
Did you already add new stuff to the course? No, I did not. I will be adding... I'm working on it. I think I have a lot of work on that one. I will be adding new stuff on December and January. And I think end of January, the course will be finished. And then I'll maybe do I will see. Maybe I do it for free, explain the new stuff, which will happen. I think I will do that. But the course the entire season change has nothing to do with the course. The course is general information of how you should be playing the game. That's simply fundamentals and everything. But yeah, I will be adding more and more and more for you as well.
All versions of the Elemental Rift have been refreshed to accommodate the new base terrain. With Mountain Rift,
so you can expect that in December I will add a few videos, and on January I'll add a few videos. And I think in total it will be 5 to 10 videos at max, and then that's it. But right now the course is already pretty big, I would say, already.
Rift
Hello,
losing a few
Kumpatzi.
walls
Nice to
that
see
didn't
you.
quite fit anymore, but we've changed up Infernal Rift completely. We don't have gameplay footage quite ready at this time, so let me paint you a word picture. Instead of a burned out fire escape, Infernal Rift will scatter infernal cinders all across the map. Picking up these cinders gives a small burst of move speed and a stat buff. On death, half your collected cinders
I dislike that they give so much
explode
movement
out
speed.
for others to snag for themselves.
Because it just speeds up the
you
game
aren't using
so
them anymore,
massively.
right?
You don't get movement speed from the dragons.
As in years past, we've made some item adjustments.
Hello, Anjutan. Welcome.
Out. Gone. Poof. In their place, we're adding, removing, and updating a bunch of items across several channels.
Looks cool right now.
Yeah,
looks cool. I think this one looks really fucking cool.
Mages, assassins, tanks, enchanters, fighters, and marksmen will all notice quite a few changes when they gear up this season. For example, the new Storm Surge for those AP assassins and burst mages who really want to shock the enemy.
Oh.
In addition, we've overhauled the support quest items. Supports now have a singular item
cool.
they pick up at the start of the game with minimal stats. You earn gold with this item by executing minions of any type for a flat amount, or hitting enemy champions with abilities or attacks. At the middle tier, you unlock refilling wards as before. And when you reach the final tier, you can choose between several upgraded items to suit your playstyle. Whether you prefer protecting your carry or more aggressive support tactics, we've got you covered. While you're running around the new map with new monsters and new items, you should keep an eye out for old grudges. We've added a handful of champion quests that will trigger when certain champs are in the same game. Defeating your quest rival on the enemy team will grant a tiny buff. While it won't significantly impact
but then there's also
the game,
a little bit
it'll be a
RNG
nice
if you don't
reward
know
for your
everything
Renekton
perfectly.
mains to finally stick it to Nasus. Many of the changes we've made
Okay, Nasus or Renekton, that's also going to be very interesting.
this year are
greetings.
aimed at making gameplay mechanics and systems easier to understand.
Is it possible there will be change in roles? For example, it is possible. I don't think Riot Games wants that. Riot Games wants the standard bot, mid lane, top lane, because it would confuse the entire game in general. Because that's a fundamental existence in League of Legends, that there are 2 bot lane, 1 top lane, 1 mid lane. And also everybody throughout the years practiced that. For example, Alois, he played top lane so much already, he knows his solo lanes and everything. If, for example, now he has a support out of a random stuff, and the entire fundamental course, everything would be extremely changed. And Riot Games doesn't want to change the fundamental, stable things.
This goal includes a lot of adjustments mentioned, making
No more
gameplay
AP.
mechanics and systems easier to understand.
That is a wonderful change, and I've been asking for that so long. Not real stats. Zonius is still the same mostly! What do you mean? What do you mean? Riot Games. You know what they're good at? They're good at making you hope. They're giving you small hints of hope. And then they're saying, oh, I forgot that.
This goal includes a lot of adjustments mentioned previously, or smaller changes like simplified tooltip language. We also just want to make it feel better to be on the Rift.
Hilarious.
Listen closely, and you might notice the music changing throughout the game based on where you are or what you're doing. Baron boss music, anyone? And now you can celebrate or commiserate with
I think that's pretty cool that it changes throughout the
your teammates
location
in a
where you
language
are.
everyone understands. The fist bump.
That is cool.
Okay, that was a lot to cover. In summary, new terrain means new gang paths in every lane. Void grubs are now a thing. You can now drive the Rift Herald into battle. Baron looks scarier, and the Void is everywhere. Infernal Rift is totally changing. There's a bunch of new items. Some champs are bringing their beef onto the Rift, and fist bumps explode into sparkles and fireworks. Whew. Got all that? Good. If you want all the nitty-gritty details, we unpack everything in the article linked below. So study up, friends, and we'll see you in January when Season 2024 kicks off.
January. For all those who still don't know, the new season, which everyone is getting hyped over, will start in January. There will be no preseason. At the moment, the current season, the current split is over. Instantly, the new season will start. I can't wait either. Okay, beautiful.